one of these. Smiling. Gotta smile because they can see us, remember?
Oh.
This is that beginning part where we always look stunned. And there we go.
There we go.
Hello. Oh, still more of you. There we go. Hi.
Hello and welcome to your Friday edition of Relationship Rehab.
Yes.
I am Lee, and this is
Paul.
or Cartoon Jesus,
That's me.
as our daughter's friends are calling him nowadays. Welcome to today. It's a solemn occasion.
And we're going with this accent.
I don't know. I don't know.
Decided to be.
It got very, very like moody outside,
Yes.
and it looks like the weather's getting angry
Yeah.
at us. So.
Feeling sultry.
Oh yeah, it hasn't been.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize the rest of the country is having horrible storms and everything. Miami's like 90,000 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
and
quite honestly,
yesterday was like moist.
Oh yeah. Like having a glass of water in hell, just all steamy and shit. Bad. Don't like it.
It's been really bad.
Yes.
I mean, like, I walked out. I was standing outside. We were at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I was standing there, and we're packing the car, and I'm wearing a shirt, like a short sleeve shirt, and the sun is hitting my shoulder, and I could feel it burning me through my clothes. So
it's horribly hot. We read through yours, make sure we're actually doing something, because it's important.
So anyway, we'll see in a second if we're actually working. So, what have we done? Last week, we didn't do a show because we were preparing for SheCon.
That's right.
While we were not doing a show, we were actually at the SheCon convention conference thing at the Miami Convention Center at the same time as the XXX convention in Miami. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
We it works, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, it works. So we got to see many a hooker and porn star.
This was way into XXXness because let's say
It was
we were
bad.
there on Friday, so Friday was ladies' night. They got into a conference for free. Now I've never actually seen a conference that did ladies' night, or I'm pretty positive
or had a red curtain closing the door.
Yeah.
That, I mean, not that we got close enough to be at the door, but because the Miami Convention Center is rather large, and there's two sides to it, and there's streets on either side.
And we were on the wrong side.
We were on the wrong side. We parked on the wrong side, so we had to walk through the whole convention center. Basically, we had to split the convention center. So we walked in through the doors where they had their stuff and the doors to the actual floor that they had all of their booths and stuff was covered by a red curtain.
Yeah. And you could also get an hourly rate
Yeah.
to this place, to this conference.
Yeah, and your complimentary lap dance.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as we were leaving, that in the afternoon, I don't know if you actually got to see the hookers, but I sure did. A car drives up, nice car drives up, and 4 hookers. And they had to be hookers. I mean, I don't think I'm disparaging these women's, maybe they were ladies of the evening, or I don't know what they refer to them as customer service representatives. I don't know. But,
but let's say that
let's just say the color of magenta in the hair and the spiked heels with the little schoolgirl uniform kind of gave it away for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the fact that their product that they were selling was, below their belly button. There's that too.
Or above their chins.
Or above their chins, yes. Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah.
But that was fun. That's a great way to start a conference, because we walk in and we're like, Jesus Christ, what is this? And then as we're walking up the stairs, we see 2 normal looking people coming down, and they had the Shikon bag, and we're like, oh my god, Shikon, and they're like, yeah, it's on the other side, and we're like, cool. So we walked and walked and walked.
Now, I will say, I really enjoyed Shikon.
Yeah.
It was small venue. Some people were kind of complaining because it was a little bit smaller than they thought. I was delighted with it. By being so small, people actually talked a lot. So we got to meet with some vendors who, and they weren't just some, people that they hired. There was, the CEO of a company was there, those kind of people. So it was rather cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very
and they
useful.
had people like Chevy and New England Coffee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they had some good brands. Lifetime was there, so that was nice. Got to talk to them. So yeah, we got to do our presentation on Saturday, and it went very well. And hopefully, if one of the women that was in our audience said that she was going to watch, she just tweeted me earlier saying she was going to watch, and so I hope she's there and she's watching, and basically it's the same thing. It's the same. We just don't talk about anti-social media here. We could because it's pertinent, but this week is all about love.
Love?
It is about love.
It is. That's true.
What else do we need to talk about? Reminding everybody that on Thursday we have a show here on Mingle Media called Making the Move, and it's sponsored by America's Moving Services.
Yeah. We like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. And if you mention us, if you need moving services and you mention us, you get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They said 10%.
Which isn't bad when
you
figure it's $1 bazillion to hire a moving company.
Yes, right.
So, let's see, where are we? Anything else that we need to talk about?
I don't know. I'm going to Colorado with my daughter in a few weeks.
Yeah.
We're exhausted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have less than 2 months before our big move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's going to work out in terms of the show and other things.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy during that time. I mean, driving cross country with the 3 kids and the 2 dogs is crazy enough. I mean, if you know anything about our dogs, one of them is very brave.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining. Yeah, the ugly one's really brave. It's raining right now. She's probably outside barking at the rain.
Mm-hmm.
The other one.
Here, let's show him.
The other one.
That's him.
Has the constitution of. Well, let's just say he's a wimp.
He is. He's total pussy.
He just left my feet 2 seconds ago to go sit there because it had been somebody was like hammering something outside, and it scared him.
Yeah.
So. So driving cross country with him, it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, should be interesting.
Are you okay, Bones? You're so tired. You're so tired.
Because the fear,
keeps him awake.
Keeps him awake.
And our daughter has babied him so much. I mean, this is actually a very good lesson for her in terms of parenting. This is a dog that once she claimed him, because the puppies were born here at our house, once she claimed him as hers, I don't think he ever touched the floor. She always had him carried, and she would carry him like a newborn. I mean, she'd carry him like this. So now when she comes home, she has to immediately scoop him up, hold him like that, or hold him like over her shoulder like she's going to burp him or something.
She takes him to bed that way at night.
And he's okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't struggle. He's very happy with that. In fact, he gets upset if you don't hold him like that.
Yeah.
Like for example, if she's out for the weekend or something, she's out, doing something, he'll come and try to do the same thing with me, and I don't do that.
Yeah, admittedly, when our daughter goes to college, she will need to grow up, and this dog is going to need to grow up. Because we ain't going to be breastfeeding him anymore.
Yes. Did you hear that, Dougie? No breastfeeding.
No.
Oh, he's so tired. So cute. Anyway, so on to the show.
Okay.
This week's topic on coupledom.com, and if you're not a reader, I would suggest after the show go up to your, let's see, as you're looking at it, go up to your right hand corner and click on the post and read up a little bit on what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We were writing about don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
And the reason why this came up, it came up during a rant. As most of our topics do. You know, usually it's Paul and I talking in the car, and then we refer to something or someone in a relationship, and thus the ranting starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes this, hey, we should write about that.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's easier if we're already ranting about it. And as you could see, if you look on my Monday post, entitled, Don't Be a Pussy, I have very little respect for people who are wimpy at love.
Yeah.
And I have
What do we mean by wimpy at love?
What do I mean by wimpy at love? What do you mean by wimpy at love?
What do any of us mean by wimpy at love? Well, let's see. Is the whole I can't tell her that I love her because then what if it scares her away?
Or him away.
Or him away.
Or I can't tell her I love her because then she'll have me by the balls.
Oh yeah.
That's more the wimpy at love.
Yeah, both of them are.
Yeah, both of them are, because girls won't say it
Mm.
because he'll run away. Boys won't say it because they don't want to lose the power.
Mm-hmm.
Which is wimpier than saying it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you tell a kid, oh no, it shows you're more courageous when you back down from a fight. And then it's like, no it doesn't, because, you know, I should fight. And it's like, no. Being able to walk away makes you the bigger man. And that's that slight concept that people don't get. You know, that it separates the alphas from the betas. You know, if you ever read 1984, Brave New World, it's a higher understanding of humanity when you know that saying I love you puts you at risk of being hurt, but at the same time shows how courageous you are.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, you know, walking away from a fight puts you at risk of being ridiculed, but shows that you would prefer that and saving your character than to be base and fight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's I mean, of course you do, because you're an alpha.
Oh yeah.
Says me. Another self-proclaimed alpha.
We mint our own badges.
Exactly. Not that we've ever, like, you know, submitted to testing, but, you know, in our own testing, in our own laboratories, right. We're both alphas. Uh-huh. Whereas I think Huxley would probably be like, no, I don't think so. Well, fuck you, Huxley.
Right.
You don't know me.
He's kind of smart, though.
Yeah, he was, anyway.
Yeah. He was definitely bright. Anyhow, we're not talking about alphas.
Because that just shows how alpha we are, referring to, like, you know, authors like we know them.
Yes.
I don't know the guy. Don't know the guy. I think he's well dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's probably dead before we were born, but hey. Like that.
Most of them are. So anyway, it's that idea, that the idea of putting it out there. And I really have to go back to, you know, how far the media has pushed this crap on us and how much we believe this crap. Mm-hmm. You know, every story, and going back to the media all the way back to William Shakespeare.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's, you know, he's like number one perpetrator of this kind of caca. Even though his characters usually were very ballsy about love. I mean, let's face it, Romeo was just flat out crazy
Yeah,
and stuff.
true.
But we don't consider that real love, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But the idea of that will she or will she kind of thing. Oh, are they gonna do it? That sexual tension.
It's all
whatever.
basically Three's Company applied to love, because it's this miscommunication. Did they actually mean this?
Yeah.
Nobody actually asked the question.
Yeah, and it's always this like,
That's funny.
you know, you could see it in their faces that they love each other, but they just don't tell each other. And, you know, I'm afraid to tell you because what if you don't love me too? And we sit there and we watch it and we lap it up year after year after year. I mean, I don't know how many years I saw Moonlighting.
Oh.
And then the moment that they had sex, it was like this, oh my God, you know, thank God. It's like we all came after they had sex because it was like, after so many years of teasing us.
I mean, we watch Bones now, and how many seasons have we gone with? Just fuck already! Come on, that's what you're supposed to do. And then, by the way, spoiler alert, but they did.
Apparently, they did,
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they did it so low key that nobody quite got it. Did they do it? You know, are they together? Kind of, maybe. And yeah, obviously they are. Sort of. Maybe. I don't know.
Anyhow.
But yeah, no, we call those kind of shows because it's like that will they, won't they kind of thing. We just call it just fuck already shows. That's what we yell at the TV.
Yeah. Often.
When we watch those shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, it might make great copy, it might make great scripts to do that pain and that angst and whatever.
But when you're sitting there having drinks with these people, it's not fun, to be very honest. To sit there and listen to somebody talk about how she thinks she's in love with a guy, but she's not willing to say it, and she's not really certain whether he even knows that she exists. But so they kind of talk, but they don't actually talk about anything of any substance.
I think that's what made our relationship so solid, that we were just too stupid to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, here's a guy that, you know, Paul, back in the day, and I know that you're going to find this hard to believe, was considered wimpy.
And shy.
You know, and shy. And here's a guy who was... Yeah, who was... and skinny and uncoordinated.
Right. I had it all.
And so here's a guy who shows up at my house even though he's dating another girl. Shows up at my house, you know, to check up on me, and you know, and stays there, and you know, drinks tea, and you know, doesn't want to leave and all this, and it's like, dude, get out of my house. And it would show up like, hey, I just wanted to see how you doing, and no, get out of my house, you know. And so yeah, he liked me, and he wasn't shy about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's so cute. Which is funny, because you would think that someone like that, I mean, who's one of his first forays into being bold enough to ask a girl to dance, was met with screaming.
It's sad. That's a sad story. I don't like that story. It makes me sad.
But it's a great story because it didn't change you, though.
No, I guess it didn't. I would think it did, but I don't know. That's one of those, what is the cognitive dissonance things? It's where my belief of myself doesn't really seem to be accurate in reality, because I think it changed me. I think that was a major basis of my life, except for the fact that there's no evidence after that to support it.
I mean, no, granted, you didn't date in high school or anything like that, and
true.
But you know, and granted, the girl you were dating while you were falling for me was less than nice.
Yeah. She's a bitch.
Okay, you can say that too, if you want. I won't because, I'm a lady.
I'll say it again then. She's a bitch.
So it's interesting that it didn't change you, and it didn't change how bold you were, because he was extremely bold. I mean, I felt, and this is in hindsight because I don't think we've ever talked about it. I felt wooed.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pursued.
Yes.
He pursued me.
I mean, there was times at the beginning, probably not consciously, because it wasn't there was a more specific time when things became conscious, where it was.
But that's the beauty of it, is that it doesn't have to be conscious, and that's what messes up love in the first place. Love is not something that is, that's all conscious, and that every move needs to be thought out. And I think that that's what screws people up, is that we become so cognitive about the emotional process of love, that we completely convince ourselves that it's better to keep it under wraps. And then when we allow ourselves to be in love and to be vulnerable and to be risking it and to be pure and innocent about our feelings, we assume cognitively again that you're just going to get stomped on. So that's why people aren't vulnerable and aren't open with their love, because this is taken over. And we've told, we say it countless times that, oh, don't let yourself be, led by your dick or whatever, and you can't wear your heart on your sleeve. And these are bad things. Right. She wears her heart on her sleeve. That's a bad thing to be. And that is actually healthier to be like that than to be cold and to be calculated about something. Yeah, that is something that is about love. It's not love is not calculating.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like saying that I'm calculated with my love with my children. I want to show them all the equal amounts of love, because I don't want any one of them to get the idea that they are the preferred one. Okay, now, if you look at the grand scheme, that's a nicer way of parenting. That none of your kids think that they're the favorite or whatever. But to be restrained.
If you look at the practicality of it, that means that you need to have a unit measurement of your love units and make sure that each of your children get precisely that many units per a given time frame. And if you're feeling kind of lovey towards one, don't show it, because you haven't actually
applied
those many units to the other ones.
Yeah, the other ones haven't received it yet. I mean, how do you, there's so many, and I want to focus on kids right now, because this is all about the same thing. This is how you show them what love is. And you look at, hello, goodbye. You show them that love is almost something that's done in abandon, that is something that is free-flowing. And I believe that love is something that's free-flowing, that's usually reciprocated. That seems to be the case. Because if you look at the people that you love, right from the get-go, your parents, your siblings, whatever, these are people that are kind of built in to love you, and granted, there are those that aren't as lucky.
You're right.
But percentage-wise, that's not common. That is not, if we look at it, mathematically, obviously, that's not the average. So your parents love you. They do the best that they can. Actually, they're in the news this week. There was this couple that is raising a genderless child. The kid is, I don't know how many months old, and they have 2 other boys, but they're raising this child to be genderless. because they don't want to. So they're not telling anybody if it's a boy or a girl. The parents know, the boys know, but that other kid is being raised not knowing whether they're a boy or a girl. Now, here's my problem with that, aside from the fact that that is just completely ridiculous.
Get some more coffee.
And I say this professionally, okay? So I'm putting on the professional therapist hat. You can't raise a genderless child because you can't. You know, you just can't. Statistically, experimentally, they've tried to do these kind of things, and it doesn't matter. It's a gender bias. We do things unconsciously as parents. It's kind of like we had this rule, hard and fast rule, when our son was born: no guns. No guns. We didn't want to raise our kid to be gun happy. We didn't want to have any guns in the house, that kind of thing. We don't own a gun or anything like that. So, we had him watching, all these very fluffy things and whatever. And as, you change channels, whatever, his eyes would be caught by, like, Power Rangers and things like that. And this is really what he wanted. He wanted to see that. And not because we were showing, it wasn't like we were forcing that on him. Like, oh, you're a boy, watch this. No, that's what he wanted to watch. I think the first movie he watched was Return of the Kings.
Yeah.
Of Lord of the Rings stuff.
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing is that our daughter, we raised her, she cut her teeth on that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars, Return of the Kings, he's a geek, I'm a geek. We like those things.
Mm-hmm.
That he got into it as much as he did.
Well, the fact that everything immediately became a gun.
Became a gun.
Yeah.
He'd eat a piece of toast, he'd bite it out until it looked like a gun.
Mm-hmm. Don't know why.
Every toy that he had, he got Legos. They became guns,
mm-hmm.
and it's a rifle, and it's a something laser beam, and it's like, it didn't matter what you did. He wanted a gun. Much like we never bought our daughter Barbies, and we didn't give her dolls so that she would feel the need that she would have to be nurturing whatever. She gravitated towards it. She named her babies.
And as much as I would like to think that, we are the great influence, etc., we're not the only thing in our children's universe. It seems like it
if
sometimes.
You want to raise your child in a cave, maybe that could happen.
Yeah.
But the reality is that body parts are body parts.
Mm-hmm.
And that child is going to identify with mom or dad. And this is the major stupidity of this. If that child notices at some point that they look like mommy or they look like daddy, they will identify with that gender.
And if they don't, then that's really
yes,
their body parts aren't the issue.
Then no. Then you have gender confusion, and that's not the same as being transgender. That's different, and that's the parent's fault.
Yeah.
And that gender confusion becomes this, mishmash of things. And that kid, if they ever show up in a school, is going to be ridiculed.
My point is that if they don't notice that daddy has a pee-pee and they have a pee-pee kind of thing, then they're probably not smart enough to worry too much about this other
That's
stuff.
Really sad. Anyway, the point being, their parenting was such, I don't know, it's so conscious,
Mm-hmm.
and there's actually a thing called conscious discipline and whatever. But conscious parenting really limits parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the most beautiful parenting moments are the parenting done in abandon. Now, granted, that's not always good because if you're having a hard time and you're distracted or you're stressed or whatever, and you're not really, you could make bad decisions as a parent, but most of the decisions you're going to make, if you're a healthy person, if you love your kids and all that, most of the decisions you're going to make are going to be healthy decisions based on the fact that they're made out of love and of concern and care and nurturing for your child. And it's that abandon that makes us make better choices when it comes to love. Love is not something that is purely conscious. It's a feeling, it's an emotion. You allow it to overcome you.
Yeah, see, that is one of my biggest problems with the way people teach about love, teach their kids about love, is that they're not masters of the material.
Right.
Most people that I know have no clue what love is.
Well, it's kind of like looking at your relationship experts. Now, we talked about this kind of stuff a few weeks ago. Relationship experts should actually be successful at relationship, not having lots of them.
Yes.
You see, having lots of relationships kind of makes you a relationship failure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to disparage these people. Well, yeah, I do. I don't. Her daughter is 4 years old, and we'll say that your daughter says that she has a girlfriend, or that the 4-year-old says she has a girlfriend.
Yeah,
because
there's definitely a difference.
There's a difference between that.
The 4-year-old.
The 4-year-old says she has a girlfriend. Well, this is one of the. You can't teach gay. And no matter how hard people try to tell you that, that this is something that is learned, it really isn't. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the 4-year-old's, awakening at some point when she decides that she understands, what her sexuality is. Mm-hmm. Having a gay parent, usually and statistically, if you look at the real statistics, has nothing to do with. The gay parents do not have statistically more gay children.
Right.
Now, does the 4-year-old say that she has a girlfriend? Well, she might not say it the way that we think she's saying it, and because your daughter's gay, you might be taking it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, when I talk about my friends and these are my girlfriends. That we're girls, we're friends, and it's not something sexual, and it's not about her sexuality. Mm-hmm. So don't freak out about it yet. There's no, you're going to freak out, and I get it. I'm a parent, and this kind of stuff is scary, and it's not. You could be as loving and accepting after you get over, the initial disappointment and shock and all that. And it's disappointing. For me, it would be disappointing only because I want them to be happy and healthy. And in this society, gay people don't have that right to be happy and healthy. So that would make me sad that my child would have to live with that. Not that their sexuality would make me sad.
See, this actually kind of brings me to my point then.
Right.
Is this whole idea of how we teach love.
Right.
Because as adults, we immediately sexualize it.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. Is we took the word girlfriend and we went to lesbian lover. Oh. Okay? That was,
right.
From a 4-year-old.
That's not what, I don't think that means what you think it means.
And that's, right.
And we have to think more innocent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're already predisposed because of your daughter. So relax.
Because love always is innocent. I hate to sound maybe naive.
It is innocent.
But it is
There
innocent.
is no... Love isn't... That's why, we've confused sex with love. And because we've confused sex with love, it's become a manipulation and a game. Mm-hmm. Love is innocent. Sex is not. So when a 4-year-old says that that's my girlfriend, that's my boyfriend, think nothing of it. Mm-hmm. It's like... real sexual, yes, sexuality is as far as scientifically, is concerned, sexuality is pretty much ingrained within the womb. How you demonstrate sexuality, and because of the society that we live in, really doesn't become solidified until you become an adolescent, and even later in life. So.
So she has.
And that's it's unfortunate. It's really sad. It's sad that we have to be that way, because we live in a really messed up world where we have to decide that that's an ugly way of being. That is a wrong way of being. And it's like God doesn't make mistakes. And I'm very clear about that. God doesn't make mistakes. And, when we tell people, like, the reason we got together is because of a gay guy, and it's true.
Yep.
So we are very
Our gay yenta.
Yeah, our gay yenta. So relax, and be happy. Find your bliss, find your love, and don't play games. Let love be innocent. Sex is something completely separate and apart. And I wish people would understand that. But unfortunately, as long as we keep calling it making love, we're gonna have that.
Yeah, we've met people who, second marriage, that kind of stuff, who are finally finding the innocence of love. On the second time around, and that kind of stuff, because no matter how jaded you are, when you actually experience true love, and you make the choice, because we always go do the love is a choice. You make the choice to be in love, and to let all of the stuff, the conscious part, the abandon all of it. It is innocent. It's like running. It's like running with your arms up.
It's like Phoebe from Friends.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when we talk about people who are just in the beginning stages of love, we talk about it being so gross. They're all cooey and lovey and all that stuff, and holding hands and kissy, and that's the innocence of it. That's the abandon of it. That that you don't care what it looks like, and then as we get used to each other, then you become less like that, which is sad, which is really sad in the long run, and we were talking about this weekend when we were at the conference, we met
It was good for us though, because we got a show out of it.
It's true. Well,
website. Go ahead.
When we were at the conference, we met a woman, who got married a couple months ago, and she's like, "Yeah, we're in the gross phase. We're just newlyweds." And I'm like, "Great, that's fantastic.
Stay that way.
Stay that way forever, and you can stay that way." And she just had this look of, "Wow, you are the first people to say that to us," and that's something when we were newlyweds, it was very annoying to us, because it was this, everybody really wanted you to get out of that phase, because it's kind of like being in the Matrix, that we were completely clueless as newlyweds, that we were living in a society that doesn't like the people showing love, because they have forgotten their innocence. And or the opposite, that we had pulled ourselves out of the Matrix and we could be innocent again. So whatever it is, I'd rather be the Neos. So being innocent is a decision you make. I don't need to be crass. I don't need to be like those other women that would actually feel uncomfortable because their husband is talking to a woman. And then she left the room. Okay, so when you're sitting there and you're sitting with your friends, and they're like, "Oh, look at," and I've had this. "Oh, look at Paul, look at all these women." And at these conferences, it's mostly women. So he'll be talking to women. That's nice. Other women would be like, "Oh, you're going to let your man do that?" It's like, "Oh, why would I care?" When you lose your innocence about love, that's where jealousy comes in. That's where the lack of trust comes in. That's where you start thinking about it way too much. That's where the affairs happen. Because when you sit there and you lose your innocence and you're like doing the whole, wow, one person for the rest of my life. Oh, those kind of thoughts don't enter into innocence. And they don't enter into people who are courageous for love. It's like, yeah, why would that be a big deal? And for some people, it is.
Oh, you were about to say something about making love.
Oh. I hate that. I hate the concept. I hate every time they say things like, oh, we made love. No, you didn't. You knocked boots, you bumped uglies, you did all sorts of things, but you didn't make love.
No.
That...
Love is all the stuff that happened after, before, and...
and maybe, because God knows who you were doing that with.
Right.
That has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. And it's a very annoying concept, too, because this is what confuses people, and this might get a little gross for some of you, but this is why sickos can say things like, no, but we love each other. Because we have taken this 4-letter word and bastardized it and made it dirty and nasty. It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It has nothing to do with sex whatsoever. It's like, I love my parents. I don't want to have sex with them. I love my children. I don't want to have sex with them. I love my siblings and my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, nieces, nephew. Don't want to have sex with them either. My friends, don't want to have sex with any of them. Why would I use the same word, love, about what I do in the bedroom, with my husband? I mean,
it is horribly confusing.
It's confusing.
Really
it's confusing, and it warps your concept of love.
See, that's where the Romeo and Juliet stuff just always burns my butt, because we use that as love. We use that as the example of love, and it wasn't love. It was lust. It was he wanted to jump her bones. Okay.
It was what do you call that? Rebound.
It was rebound.
Yeah. He was in love with Roxanne. He couldn't live without Roxanne. Roxanne dumps his ass, and the very same day he sees Juliet at the ball. I mean, read your story, people. If you saw your friend doing this, you'd be going, "You're not in love. You're in lust."
Yeah.
Or you're looking for some sex payback, or what do they call that? Revenge sex. That's what they call it.
Yes. And if you were Juliet's friend, you'd say that you're the rebound chick.
Yeah.
What's up? He's just gonna do you and move on, and then find somebody he loves.
I mean, I say that if they would have allowed these guys to live on, instead of killing them off at the end, it would have lasted maybe a month.
Yeah. She might have ended up knocked up though.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it 3 years. Because of the baby and the whole bit, and then he starts cheating on her. And yeah, it would have been about 3 years.
Yeah, probably.
And then, of course, you say things like that, and what is the first thing people say to you? Oh my God, you're so unromantic. No, on the contrary, I'm extremely romantic. That story's not romantic. That story's caca.
I mean, for me, romance is the old couple sitting on the park bench holding hands.
He keeps telling me that.
I like that. See? I'm holding your hand. Kind of sweaty. My hand's sweaty. Anyhow, we're the old couple holding hands. No, but things like that. It's the, the people having the conversation about their future and what they want.